2.8 is just so mundane, right? f2, 1.8, even 1.4, they don't really cut it. 1.2 is where the real geeking out happens. Canon famously have their fantastic 85 1.2, and they have a current production 50mm 1.2 as well. But Nikon don't really. I mean, I own what I think is the only current 1.2 that they're currently making in their lineup, the 50mm, but it's a manual focus, and surprisingly, it doesn't actually even show up in the Nikon Australia's page, but you can get it if you look around hard enough. But today, they have finally announced a 1.2 autofocus lens for their lineup, and it's got a field of view of around about 85mm. But it's actually a CX lens for the Nikon 1 series. So it's a 32mm 1.2. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful, and if you bought into this the Nikon 1 lineup, then hooray. Now when I say it's about an 85, I mean, as I said, that's field of view, so it's going to give you a field of view of a bit over 86mm. There's a bit of confusion out there about how does the crop factor and the actual focal length versus field of view affect it, and how does aperture affect the depth of field and the blur you can create depending on the different formats you're on. I'll pop a couple of links in the caption below to some of that Nikon Guy videos I've done specifically on those topics to try and clear it up. But fair to say, this is going to give you, when you look through it, the amount in the frame equivalent of about an 86mm on a full frame camera. So, you know, it's going to be used in a similar kind of way as a portrait lens. At 1.2, yes, you will be able to get some really nice bokeh, even on a small sensor. That's not going to be too big of an issue for you. It comes down to how's it actually going to perform. So let's actually go through some of the specs. Interesting that the press release Nikon Australia sent out doesn't have any real specs in it. It tells us what I already told you. It's using the silent wave motor, of course. It's got Nano Crystal coating, which is fantastic. Some of the lower end lenses don't have that. But it doesn't tell us much else. We don't know how many elements or how many aperture blades, even anything like that. It just that it has a manual auto switch on it. So, for most of us, so what? On paper, it's great that they're getting a 1.2 in the lineup. For those who have bought into the Nikon 1 lineup, then I'm glad to see there's a nice fast lens coming out there for you at a good focal length that'll be handy for a lot of people who want to use it for portraits in that kind of way. I'm still not going to buy a Nikon 1. But anyway, there you go. Check out the links in the caption below. I'm in a little study in Hong Kong at the moment, heading over to London this afternoon. Stay tuned, I'm sure there'll be more announcements coming soon.